English translation, 13th contact. Friday, 25th April, 1975, 1720 Rs.
Unfortunately, I have very little time today, so we can only discuss the most important things. First, I will bring back the book I borrowed, which I do not need to comment on. I refer here again to my assessment, which I already gave you at the last contact. New perspectives have not been added.
I will pass on your answer to my friend, and in his name I thank you for your effort.
That is not worth mentioning, and on the other hand, I am glad that your friend wished me to judge in reference to this book. If all your friends were as understanding, trusting, and friendly as he was, everything would be much better with our cause. I also enjoy your two other friends, even if they are a little more cumbersome about the whole thing. But this lies in their thinking, which they first have to retrain for certain new things and insights. I can assure them, however, that I find their efforts, their perceptiveness, and their will to do so remarkable. I already talked in detail about the other people in the group at the last contact, and I do not want to go into it again. The provision in this regard has fallen, with which it should be enough. But since their whole nature is not good for our company, I was wondering if I should destroy the film that you exposed on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock on the 20th of April, and on which they were photographed. Considering the indelicate and harmful nature of their thoughts and attitudes and their ignorance, I have decided that it is appropriate to destroy the film. Therefore, I destroyed the part of the film on which the disturbing factors are photographed. Your closer friends should not be disappointed, because tomorrow I want to give you the opportunity to take more pictures in the afternoon. I must, however, issue a provision to the effect that no disturbing factors, such as those represented by the aforementioned persons, are included in the exposure. Eventually uninitiated, non-informed persons exposed on the photo are not further disturbing, quite in contrast to initiated ones if these are of a disservice by opposing the issue case.
Of course I will obey your advice, Simyase, even if I regret the destruction of the film. But the fact that you give us another opportunity to take photographs makes up for everything. What interests me now, however, is another matter. Here and there I can observe UFOs, which apparently do not belong to you according to their forms. In most cases, however, the objects are so far away that you cannot see anything more precise or even photograph them, which would be very interesting as a comparison. Is there anything I can do in this regard to perhaps get a chance to take up a position after all? The second question concerns the crystals you brought me. My friend F. Liniger had great pleasure in the green malachite rock. He now asks if you would like to give him a larger piece of this kind of rock.
I find it very interesting that you ignore the destruction of the film with a simple regret, which is not exactly your way, because I know exactly how you can get excited when certain things do not go your way. You are puzzling me about this. But I am also honored that you just accept my advice. Regarding the foreign spaceships you want to photograph for comparison, there is nothing you can do yourself. You may be able to influence them intellectually in flight and light radiation, but not in such a way that you can order them close enough to capture them on film. For my part, however, I may have the opportunity to do so. So I will do this on occasion and call you? Of course, I am willing to bring a piece of malachite stone for your friend F. Liniger. However, this is not to become a rule, because in principle I have agreed to bring stones and crystals if they are intended for your own collecting purposes or for sale. But for your three closest friends, I want to make an exception. Until then, however, they will have to be patient a little longer, because only in a few weeks' time will I have the opportunity to get such things again. In view of the lecture you are planning to give on our case, we have consulted in detail. So I can tell you the decision that we agree if you take a few dozen more slide photos of my ship, this contrary to my former determination. We assume that a sufficient number of pictures of this kind are very useful and of great value. Furthermore, it was decided by both of us at the last contact to eliminate the disturbing factors that were fundamentally to blame for my determination that you should not take any more evidentiary images. Nevertheless, we would like to limit the number of pictures to 100, which should certainly be enough. However, the provision here is that no more persons are photographed because of importance is not them, but my beamship.
I am very pleasantly surprised, Simyase. Thank you so much.
You do not have to thank me.
Nevertheless, I am very happy. But now another question, Simyase. Is there a possibility?
I am afraid I have to interrupt you because I already said that my time is limited today.
I have just one very brief question.
If that is the case, then please ask.
Is it possible that you can bring some pictures from your home planet, or from any other world, or that I give you my camera with which you can take pictures?
Unfortunately, I have to deny that because that would go too far. Except with the crystals and rocks, we must confine ourselves to things that are from Earth.
Thank you. Simyase, this answer is enough for me. But I just remembered that on the 21st of April, the day after our last contact, I was in Ravenspool again and observed that the military was there and searched the whole area. Have you made any findings about this?
That is another question, but I do not know anything about the incident. It might be possible that someone has observed the start of my ship and reported this to the authorities or the army, after which a search might have taken place, which unfortunately happens here and there if we are not careful enough or if some careless foreign ships appear or even land. As you yourself know, we ourselves exercise extreme caution in every respect in order to prevent such occurrences. Nevertheless, sometimes all caution is still too little, because very often observing eyes are just there, where one least suspects them, even at such late night time. Unfortunately, this can lead to unpleasant incidents, especially if we have to fly to the place in question several times or even land there. Especially authorities and military feel very threatened in their power when they are informed about sightings or landings of beamships, etc., although we are not interested in breaking or endangering their primitive power, because this task is incumbent solely on the Earth humans. But even though they are very interested in our beamships and do research and investigations, the authorities and the military strongly deny these facts. All relevant information concerning spaceships, sightings and landings, etc., is therefore denied by them as much as their secret investigations and investigations of beamship landing sites, etc. So do not worry about the military that you met or observed in Ravenspool, because their investigations are either way secret and they cover them up with all the means and lies at their disposal. They will deny your observations in every respect, even if you could prove it photographically, which could be dangerous for you on the other hand, as you already know from your own experience. So do not worry about the machinations of the army, because otherwise it could become dangerous for our cause.